Hello, my name is Luigi Pangaro. I'm a photographer and sometimes filmmaker from Australia. I'm embarking on a quest to discover my roots in Calabria, Italy, along with my mum and my dad. Calabria is a region of Italy. It occupies the toe of the so-called Italian boot of the country. Even though I'm an Australian citizen, Italy, and Calabria in general, is where my family hails from. After a brief stopover at Dubai International Airport, we flew all the way to La Mesa Terma in Calabria. It was a 17-hour flight. Anyway, enough complaining. We were picked up by my Uncle Frank and we were driven to his place where we'll be staying for our duration of Italy. And I was fortunate enough to get my mother's old room. Hard to imagine that this was the same room that my mother lived in when she was a young child, and now 30 years on, here I am in beautiful Pianigrati, Italy, and this is the balcony. And it's another beautiful morning in the old country. It wasn't always a happy childhood. My maternal grandfather was a bit of a drunk, but she enjoyed her time here, and props to her for coming all this way to a foreign country called Australia. And she didn't know the language, and she didn't know what she was doing, and she came here to meet my father, and yeah, just thinking about that. How do you feel when you go back to this place after 30 years?
I feel remember all the things you passed. 30 years here. I remember all the things. Here was the, we call it acidici di patato, the apples, cucino, the chicken, here is a bug.
We know.
The one that was in my room. And this one that was in my mom. The one is the region. Look at the color, zero. You see, purple, what is?
Like an orange or red. No colour.
No color.
The next day, we went to a place in which I like to call the Wasteland. It's just burnt to high hell. It was the property of my family.
One more shot. That's it.
Today I went to see the graves of my grandfather and my grandmother. On my mother's side, because I knew personally my grandfather and my grandmother on my father's side in Australia. And yes, it's a very sobering experience, more so for my mother than for anyone else. We found my grandmother's grave, but the things were taken down, you know, so I wasn't able to get a shot of her, of a photograph of her, or her birth and date of death. That was a little disappointing, a little bit sad.
La sorellina che ti diceva, mamma, ti diceva che andava, mi ricordo.
Adesso lo suo nonno.
Mi ricordo stare no, pure era nato, io l'anno 9, lei che diceva sempre, mamma diceva, ha detto mamma, facciamo una cosa, erano con la bronchite, e tu eri secco, avevi, ho detto, mamma dice, o la fa sta buona, si è sentito una botta, boom. Ma come si dice? Sempre molto bene a parlare. Pure che era sempre... Non passato ancora. Ma stiva sempre...
Ma
mi chiamava Rosa, mi chiamava la Rosa era una cosa mia.
Era buono,
Non te ricordi?
Eh?
Non te lo ricordi?
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get to go to the castle, to the beach and other places, and like my uncle said, it's not always the best thing to take photos and video via car, but to get out on the feet, to walk. Camminata, as the Italian goes. The next couple of days were pretty amazing. I got to meet some relatives that I didn't even know exist. I got to meet my Uncle Tony for the very first time, and his wife, my Auntie Rose, and also some of my mother's friends. But after a while, the weather took a turn for the worse. It went from Australia like hot to raining non-stop. I'm serious. It rained for 2 days straight. I feel sick. I was really sick. Oh, really dizzy, nauseous, kind of sick. I'm getting a little tired of all the twists and turns and all the roads that are long and windy. And at first it was fun to drive around those roads, but now I'm starting to get sick and nauseous. So feeling a little under the weather. Today, finally, it stopped raining. Some beautiful sunshine, I suppose. I got some very good shots today for stock reel, for some of my video diary. Also some family stuff. Last night I stayed in bed because I was sick, and a family member came over, and I think he thought that I was faking it in order to not meet him, but which is untrue. I was truly sick, and I'm just sick of... In Italy there's a lot of windy roads, twists and turns, it sort of make me sick, and being in the car, as much fun as it is kind of, too much at times. And hopefully I can visit the castle, but the people I'm staying with say it's crap, which is boo to them, but I'm just not seeing the I've seen the city and the villages and some of the farms, but I need to get some of the more upper stuff of Calabria, so I think the castle will be key in America. The next day, while I was minding my own business, I heard a very large sound, almost like that of a gunshot. Needless to say, I was worried. But what I found out later was that Pianicrati may seem like a quiet small town in Italy, but it can get really, really loud. So I was awoken by church bells in the middle of the night. Yes, that's right. people in Italy like to have masses, church's mass, in the middle of the night. So I looked out my window, out to my balcony, I saw, is that my mum? Is that my mum? Where's my mum doing in the mass? And it was, my mum was in the mass. The bells were ringing. I mean, imagine ding dong, waking up all night. Like every hour, I'm not joking, every hour, the bells ring. The church bells ring, people were having a mass, so naturally I went down to investigate and wasn't wearing any shoes. So just walking across the knobbled surface of the road saying, Buonasera, Buonasera, you know, just trying to act like a professional photographer, camera person, you know, try not to make it look like some kind of Australian idiot. But yeah, in the middle of the night getting woken up by bells, seeing, is that my mother? And taking photos without my shoes on the knobbly surface in the streets of Italy, in Europe. Wow, why must they have the mass at night? Why? Why? Tell me why. The beach was very nice. Listen, I tried to find a seashell, but I couldn't find any single one. And it's a shame. I wanted a seashell as a memento for the time in Italy, but I couldn't find any. And it's a lot different from the beaches in Australia, as you can see. Very, very different. And I did go to the Sila, and I thought the Sila was some kind of farm place. Parts of it is, only a small part of the Sila is farms.
Mio fratello e mia sorella.
Si legge una cosa che coltello, ragazzi.
Dove sono le cartelle ragazzi? Devono passare. Sicuro. Sta il tempo passare.
A me guarda due corsi carani. Due corsi carani, aveva preso.
But what I discovered was that the Sila was like a national park, like the old American thing of national parks. The theme was wolves, lupo it's called in Italian language. And there was a museum there where it had exhibits about the old, the working class heroes, and some sort of steampunk type stuff, and also exhibits about the local animals around the area, about the wolves and the deers. Yes, I went to the lake. Me and my father went to the lake, braving the weather, went to the lake, had some nice cool shots, the both of us did. And so yeah, I've ticked that off the list. The mysterious Sila, I have came and I conquered it.
One of the most surprising things about Italy is that it's truly a small world. Just wandering around the small town of Rose, we spotted a family relation of a family friend of ours. It was a kind of a surreal moment, but wonderful nonetheless.
I was getting a little bit, I wanted to see the Castello, the castle of Calabria. And I was getting a little bit worried that I wasn't having enough time to see it, but eventually I did see it. Me and my uncle Tony went to the Castello, took us outside, inside, up the stairs, even at the top went this huge, I'll start that. Yep. So me, and my uncle Tony, while we're just waiting for my mom go to the castle, me and my uncle Tony went to the Castello, the castle, inside, up the stairs, all the way to the top, and this beautiful panorama shot of the city of Cosenza.
Poi c'è un panorama bellissimo. Si vede proprio tutto.
piace?
Yeah, sì, mi piace.
Da quando sei qua non hai mai visto una cosa del genere. Rendi conto? Questo, un altro sotterraneo. Ha visto il re, no?
Yeah.
Sono venuti prima e poi ci sono arrivati prima.
I'm so glad. I'm like beaming. Actually beaming with joy. I'm taking pictures at the Castello. Yay! My first full castle. I was told that it's almost 2,000 years old. Built by knights or monks or something. I guess I'll do some research afterwards. It's a very beautiful place, very old, very antique. Yeah. Just one of 3 famous castles in Cosenza, Calabria, Italy. So yeah, very exciting, very exciting. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it to get up close and get up. I got a great shot of the front of the castle, like a mid shot, wide shot, and then a couple of close-ups inside and outside, and the panorama. And oh, very nice, very cool. Okay, see you soon. My time in Calabria, Italy, was coming to an end, but before that, we had to go to Cosenza one last time to do some shopping before we had one last meal with my family back in Italy. Yes, I had a very nice time. It's nice to visit your roots, and I hope to come back here in 30 years more time, or hopefully more sooner. Yeah, this was quite an experience. I never thought I'd ever step foot in Italy, and now I've done it. And every time people will say, have you ever been to Italy? My answer is now yes. Yes, I have.